We'll see how long this video goes. We're going to start and do a little bit of training for our Part 107 pilots out at Claremore jrotc. And this is in preparation for field internship training that's happening here in a few days. And so I want you to be able to go through this video, be able to watch it maybe through a couple of times, skip to the parts that you need to remember something that you may have forgotten. We're going to cover a couple of things. We're gonna have you fly this flight using a DJI Phantom 4 Pro. It's one of the workhorses of the drone industry. And even though it's an older model drone, it's still very relevant in the drone world. I think to start with, we're going to have y'all practice on the Mavic Minis that you have there on campus. They can help you get familiar with the sticks and kind of go through and simulate what you will do with the bigger drone. So we're going to go through a few things. We're going to go through ZViewIt, which is a, let's call it like a DoorDash for drone pilots. So you sign up as a drone pilot, tell them what your capabilities are, do your onboard training, and they'll send you missions that match to your skill set, also that are in your geographical area that you choose to be available. So we're going to go over a few of those things. We're going to go over Drone Deploy, which is one of the most popular mapping systems. I say mapping systems, map planning systems that is used out in the drone world. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll pop on Google Earth. We'll look at a few things. We're going to go over each one of the different missions that you'll be flying later in the week. And I'm going to mix that with some of the assignments that I want you to do on campus Thursday. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay. Let's get started here in Google Maps. So I think that this building here, I don't know what it is, but it's just down from your gym. Okay? This building down here. This building is actually going to be perfect for this building here. Either one of these three buildings, these really simulate the actual mission you're going to do. So if you have multiple people coming out, I think you'll have several drone pilots that'll be in the training on Thursday. You may want to break up into these three different buildings and go through this process. All right, so let's go through a few things first. Let's jump. Actually, let's jump over to our phones real quick. So let's just make sure that if we go into our App Store and search for Drone Deploy, it's in the Apple App Store, and it's also in the Android App Store if you have a newer Android. And of course, when you search Drone Deploy, you'll see down here where it says Drone Deploy Flight App, and mine says open, but you'll push get and get that downloaded on your phone. And we'll be referring back to this app in just a little bit. We'll use the desktop version of it. So let's pop back into the desktop. And you'll also, once you set up your account in Drone Deploy, it is a free account. So it'll be good for you when you do further interns here on campus, or when you actually have some real paying jobs. You'll use Drone Deploy a whole lot. So once you have your login information, then you can go online to dronedeploy.com and pull this up here. So the real nice thing about it is when we plan our missions in Drone Deploy, they will also show up on our phone. So as we just jump in here, we go to projects, and you should see here, this one says Claremore High School. And then when we jump into our phone, you can see here, I'm going to wiggle a little bit, upper left hand corner, it says Claremore High School. So they work together, which is super nice. It's a little bit more difficult. It's probably easy for you. It's a little bit more difficult for us older folks sometimes to see and manipulate our fingers on the screen, this makes it a little bit easier, and it also can do some advanced features I'll show you in just a little bit. All right, so I want to go into the dashboard. So here's the pilot dashboard, and in the pilot dashboard it'll come up, and there's several of these that you can do. So when you become a real drone pilot, you may go through and sign up for a couple of these different outfits. You'll also want to go out there and drum up your own business. So here we go. Let's look at two that are pending for us, and this is the one that we're talking about that you're going to go fly on here. So this has got our information. I know it says upload, but we're going to use that button to get in and take a look. And so we're going to walk through a few things in here that you won't use for this mission maybe, and some of them you will, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of them so that way you know about it. So right off the bat, the first line here talks about your location, where it's at, and it's got your coordinates, everything you need to know about finding the place. They always do pop on a screen that shows your overall acreage. If you look up here, you'll see 5.61 acres. And yes, guys, you have to go out there, and this is not the best site to do flights for because they don't pay real well, as far as I'm concerned. So if you look here, it'll show what they're offering pay-wise for this type of mission. However, keep in mind, as you're starting off, you're trying to earn money. If this is something that's close to home and a flight that's going to only take 15 to 25 minutes to fly, hey, that's actually pretty good money. If you have to drive halfway across the state to get to it, it may not be beneficial. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look here at what we see first. And this is going to be pretty typical across the board with just about any vendor that you use. So there'll be times where you'll work directly with a customer who says, go fly this for me, and you won't have very much of this information. If you're dealing one-on-one with a customer, you'll have to create all this information. If you're dealing with a broker like this is, where I don't actually work for the insurance company that we're flying this mission for, it belongs to these folks up here. And yeah, so that's kind of how that works. They will provide you the information you need. So here's your flight information. Overall, this is the screen. You have to pay attention to these colors. If you look at each one of these buildings, they have a different color outlining them, and that's going to correspond with the mission list as we get further down. While we're in this map, there's not a whole lot that's great with this map except this piece up here. This is a KML, and what this KML basically is the actual mission into a code that can be interpreted and uploaded by a mapping system like Drone Deploy. So we'll look at that in a little bit when we go into Drone Deploy. Just know that when I talk about KML, that's where the KML is coming from. Okay. Here's on your calendar 5/19/2023 at 11 a.m. And a lot of times these are pretty well set in stone. For this particular customer that I've flown mission for before, that's an insurance inspection, they have them set at a certain time, and they typically can't be changed. If that can be changed, you can contact your contact and say, hey, look, can I do this at another time? And maybe that can happen. All right, let's pop into the flight list. Typically on most of these programs, they're going to ask you to do some onboard training. This is just really, it's like orientation at any job. It's to make you familiar with their website and know what they expect of you. All right, the next one that's going to come up is weather requirements. This is important because it's going to tell you what type of environments that they'll allow you to fly in. It's got a nice little info tab. Let's just jump over that so I can use it to help explain what's going on here. This company here, they only use these three options. 1, 2, 3 is 10, 50, and 100% cloudy, and they give you some examples of what those look like. We see a lot of missions come in in this up to 100% cloudy. This means that they want to get the flight done as quick as possible. So they'll take up to 100% cloudy, which that means that clouds can cover the entire sky. If they want, now there's all kind of reasons why we would want to have no clouds. Obviously, lots of sunlight can really help us get increased detail. But in order to wait for just a 10% cloudy day and the clouds looking what you see up in here, it may take quite a bit to watch the weather. So we don't see as many missions come in here. And then the one we're looking at says up to 50% cloudy. So that's still letting some sun in to help us get plenty of high resolution images. And that's where we'll be flying. So as you look at the sky, when you go out to do your mission, this is what you're hoping to see, no more than 50% clouds. Easy enough. Camera settings. When flying the DJI products, most of the default settings will be perfectly fine for what they're requiring on your video and image. But there they are nonetheless to show you the type of formats that they're expecting. And they're expecting those in MP4 or MOVs and JPEGs for the still images. All right, so in the special instructions, this is where it's going to start to break down what they're looking for, and they're going to kind of try to narrow down for you how to get that. So we're going to talk about the bird's eye. Okay, that's going to be one of the first things that's going to happen on every image. So I want to take a look over here. Now, as you see, as we're looking down into Claremore, into the campus, we're looking at bird's eye, right? I can manipulate this map a little bit better. So here we are in bird's eye view. Okay. Now let's look. I want to look at this. This says capture 100% of the property in a minimum of 90% of the frame. Our camera angle should be completely at 90 degrees. And we can split it up if we can't get it all in one image. Now, let's see if this one will let me. This is going to get real bad resolution, and I don't think I can turn it, so don't get too mad at me. Well, that's super nice. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Okay. Now if I take that building and I'm going to do bird's eye view. So this is what we're looking for when we're flying our drone. This is what I'll expect. I'm going to want each of you to take your drone. So you're going to want to take your drone and you'll want to zoom in until you can get this piece in 90% of your frame. This entire building here, okay? Just like it's shown on the page here. I'll show you that in a second. This outline piece here, okay? This is what you want 90% of the frame. If you can't get it in 90% of the frame in one shot because of altitude, let's get this in about 90% of the frame. How about that? Okay, I'm going to call that 90% of the frame. I would take one picture there, and then I would take one picture here. Now let's see if we can't, let's start that over. So you'll fly your drone up in the air with your gimbal at 90 degrees, so you're looking straight down. And I'm going to put a line, if I can. It's not a very pretty line. Goodness, they want everything. I don't want all that. Okay, I never use this program, and it shows, right? All right, let's get out of here. All right, so I can't draw a line. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use these little things right here, little vents or marks on the. All right, so when I have this image in 90% of the frame, I'm going to take one picture, and then I'm going to fly the drone over, and I want you to watch this little piece here. Let's pretend that was kind of in the middle. You know, if I come back here and get it in 90% of the frame, I have no overlap. So I want to make sure that I have overlap. I want to make sure that both of those pictures, that the ending point that's here in the middle of the roof, okay, that goes along that roof, I want to make sure that that is in both pictures. So later on, when the company stitches those images together, they can have a picture of one roof. All right, so jump out there onto on your drones and get out and fly a mission where you're going to do a bird's eye view of this building, and go do all three of them. Or at least split up so each one can have a chance to work and do that. Go hit all three of these buildings, and what you're going to aim for, let's see if I've got some in here. Okay, what you're going to aim for is an image like this. This is the image that you want, and if you look where the line is at, this is the boundaries of the building, and it's in 90% of that frame. That's the image that you're going to go for. So I think it's going to be good if we just stop this video here, send you out to take those single bird's eye shots, and once you've got that mastered, then move on to the second video, and we'll go over a couple more of the things that you need to learn for your next mission.